Hey guys, Darkovika here, and welcome back to whatever the heck this is. I'm just gonna say that in every single video, as well as I have the memory of a goldfish. Both of those will become permanent to the series. Okay, so right off the bat, if you don't understand what the series is, I will post a link in the description below talking about what this is. In short, it is not a tutorial series, and it is not, it's not a tutorial series, it's just for fun. Basically think of this as like being a Let's Play, but of RPG Maker and other stuff for gaming, I guess. Okay, cool. So let's talk. Last time what I decided to do and what I was kind of inspired to do, I made a wooden sword and I gave it a recipe. Now I actually updated this recipe since I last did anything, and I gave it gold. I gave it 100 gold. And then, so now it costs money to make. And the reason I did that is because I was thinking about it, and in order to keep the player from just making a billion wooden swords and obviously just selling them, I have to create some kind of a bar. So for now, we're going to say that it's 100 gold and these things sell for 50. So right off the bat, this makes it so that it's not something that the player wants to exploit, because overall, the worth of creating this item does not match what it sells for. Now, I can change this later, but for now, we'll leave it like that, just to keep things, you know, obviously not exploitable, but it's something that we'll consider later as we start to make more items and more things like that. But I don't really want to consider it too much right now. The other items currently don't cost any gold. I can always change that, make them cost 15 gold in order to make, so that you can't just sell things. Although these items are key items, which I believe, oh no, actually, I'm sorry, they are actually regular items, which is interesting. So I think that means that they can be sold, but I'm not 100% positive on that. We'll consider it later. So, what are we gonna do today, brain? Try to take over the world. Sorry, I couldn't help it. I am mildly inspired by certain types of gameplay mechanics, which are actually more theories than they are mechanics. I really like the concept of a guild. So I've always kind of like really enjoyed the idea of putting together a guild. And I also really like the concept of like not a city builder, but like, okay, so let's consider the idea of Robin Hood really quick, right? In a lot of Robin Hood games, what you wind up getting, and not to disparage them because this is actually really cool and I love that this is a thing, you get a lot of instances where you have your main hero, Robin, and a village that he is trying to build, right? Or not a village, excuse me. He just winds up in the forest with a bunch of outlaws. And then as time progresses, this thrown together village or, you know, hideout starts to get more people, more facilities. So there's a word for this and I'm just totally blanking on what it is, but it's like, it's your base of operations and you're upgrading it. So I like that idea a lot, so that might be something that I toy with. And then I like the idea also of an open world RPG game, so something that's like Skyrim, right? It has obviously massive ideas that may or may not ever be implemented. But that's okay, because that's not what this series is about. It's just about being inspired and making things, whether or not I finish them. So, obviously there's still a lot to do with the database. Like, this is nowhere complete. This is by no means complete. We still have to give skills to our warrior class. We have to set up the summoner class. I've really only just given it abilities. And then I just sort of, it doesn't even have the ability to attack. We'll just sort of give it the same thing. Yeah, that's fine for now, whatever. We'll come back and fix this later. We don't need it to work right now. Poppycock. Also, in the last video, Ragarin brought up an interesting point, which is that, so I talked about the fact that I really like the leveling script in RPG Maker. Also, I should mention this now. Gamer Bust is here. That's another channel. My husband is in Gamer Bust, and his partner is Brett. They will be recording shortly, which may mean that you will hear shouting and screaming from the other room. That is Gamer Bust. They're a Let's Play series, and they're very energetic and very exciting, but also very loud, which is hilarious because we live in an apartment. But anyways, so I was talking about how I really like implementing the level system, the level plugin from Yanfly, because I can never quite get the stats right so that enemies last long enough to be interesting. If you're in a starting area, I mean, in a lot of games, I mean, I guess you pad it out by making it take very long to level up, which I'm not a huge fan of. I hate the grind. I hate the grind. I like games that are paced in such a way that you can do above average, but not grind, and still wind up mostly ahead. Kind of like Pokemon is right now. I don't like having to grind hours and hours just to get like 10 levels ahead because you're getting like 1 EXP. You get what I mean. So it's like I have a difficult time without this level system setting up enemies that level up in a way that I feel good about the leveling. And of course, all of this is based off of my tastes in gaming, which is not to say that those are the tastes for everyone. A lot of this will be very opinionated. But who else am I basing this off making a game for if I'm not making it for myself? So, you know, I have a lot of difficulty because without that leveling system, enemies just do not last. You spend maybe a couple minutes in a starting area before all of a sudden enemies are just totally useless. Like, they can't hit you because you've leveled up 3 times and your agility is just way above them. Now, Rygerin mentioned that it didn't seem like such a great thing to have that, because then you can't designate, like, if your player is actually progressing, you can't make areas where your player really feels like they've progressed. So, and I understand that point, because it can actually feel really good to leave an area, come back later, and then nothing can touch you, and you're like, oh snap, I've progressed in this game. Like, I remember when these monsters sucked, and that's a great feeling. And there is actually something for that. Someone pointed out another plugin that I haven't installed, so you're gonna see me use Notepad still, but they pointed out a very cool thing that I just didn't install, which gives tooltips for your installed plugins. Not that one. Is it this one? There it is. Okay, so you can set a minimum and maximum level with Yanfly's level plugin. Someone else mentioned that Yanfly's plugins are not free anymore, so bear that in mind. I haven't tested that. I remember that there were donations that were requested for them, but I don't remember like an actual payment. But I'm also okay with paying for them from here on out, because I really, really, really like Yanfly stuff. But I also would love to check out other people's stuff. Okay, so yeah, you can set the minimum level for enemies and the maximum level. So if you wanted to level gate an area so that the player like walks through and then is attacked by a level 50 monster, do it. Like, you can do that. You can set the minimum level to 50 so that it cannot actually match your player's level. Same thing for maximum level. If you want to set the starting area to be like up to level 10 or, you know, level 20, you can do that. And when the player comes back, if you have the player come back later and they walk through and they realize that they're just like wiping the floor with these enemies, bada bing, bada boom. So, you know, there's that. I haven't said anything for my Force Spirit because I don't even have a world. So, that said, let's take a look at some of these prefabs, because I ain't making a map right now. I don't feel like it. So what is this series if not me just messing around? I've never used this map. Personally, I hate deserts, so I live in one. I don't want to make a game with a desert. This one's kind of cool. This one has like something going on with this like black abyss over here. I almost always use this one. Yeah, I just pretty much always use this one. I think I use it because it's just so big and it has such a large number of like different types of areas. Like, this is completely forested. All of a sudden, here's a desert. Here's also a desert. Just have this random little island over here, a lake. It has a lot of options, and I appreciate that. So I think I'm gonna go with that one again, even though I always use this one. I appreciate it on a cosmic level. So I've downloaded this, and I would like to pick a starting area. I always wind up picking a starting area, oopsies, somewhere up here. And I think I just instinctually, like this is actually a decent starting area because you're gated by this water. And so you could set like a village right here and maybe like a fortress over here, like a castle. So your character grows up in a small town, and then, something happens and your character has to travel to the castle. I have just set up a premise, and I'm not necessarily going to make like cutscenes. I'm probably going to make some cutscenes as I get inspired to do so. That's sort of what this series is me not really sticking to anything in any sort of a recognizable format. Let's take a look at what we have. I have a lot of DLC. I'm guilty of being obsessed about RPG Maker DLC. I'm sorry. It's shiny. Also, Humble Bundle has like a billion like RPG Maker packs that are like just tantalizingly affordable, and I buy them every single time. I didn't buy the most recent one, and I actually regret that. See, like, okay, not that one. I feel like this. See, okay, here's one. Well, no, I guess it doesn't really matter. I was gonna say, here's the problem with this type of thing is that if I use this, right, to make my castle, let's pop this bad boy over here. If I pop this down, well, I guess technically we don't have to put it. I keep forgetting that this is like total. You can walk on these. I don't know why I forget that, but I do. Or, I think there's actually a river in. We'll pop it there. That seems fine to me. I like that. And then we will pop over here and just slap a village down. That looks like a village. I like it. Ship it. I was saying something and then I got distracted. Oh yeah. So the one of the problems I have is that like these tiles, if you reuse them, it kind of like makes them not special. But then in these older games, like how many graphics could you, I mean, this isn't old obviously, but in the older like RPG games, JRPG top downs, you couldn't really fit that many graphics. So a lot of people were, pretty cool and just used their imagination. So I think I'll be fine if I use the same graphics in this. Also, I can't draw worth a dime. I don't have the patience. Those of you who do, you're amazing. I sometimes can draw, but not really. Anyways, neither here nor there. We have our starting village, we have our starting castle. What I want to work. So here are the things that I am like interested in implementing. First of all, we have a lovely quest journal plugin from Yanfly. Just to walk, this entire series is just a Yanfly advertisement. And I would like to implement that. So I kind of want to implement this idea of an open world, right? So if we want an open world, already we're kind of scrooged because this isn't very open world, is it? We need boats, we need ships, we need... So, I mean, we could make this, like, let's say we made this a linear kind of start. It looks kind of cool with these two things here. A linear kind of game, right? You feel me? A linear kind of game with you follow the first part of the story similar to Skyrim just so that you can get to the overarching world, and then you can just go wherever you want after that. And in this case, it would be, you start here, you go over here, and then you get the ability to cross the water. And I think that's an interesting idea. I like that. We could also put that in here based, with a bridge. Like, let's say the player has to fix a bridge, which I believe I have that graphic. So that is a thing that I believe we can do. Well, it's in here somewhere. There's a bridge somewhere in here in these graphics. It's probably staring me straight. There's these ones. These are wooden bridges. I could swear there was a stone bridge. Ah, yeah. See? Staring me straight in the face. It's this line right here. So yeah, I kind of want to focus on, let's make normal town. Okay, so see, this would be, I think, this town over here. No, we don't want that. We want, where's the other one? Now, see, here's where we do have some issues. We can't reuse these maps. That would look ridiculous if you just walked into a whole new city and it looked identical to the other 5 cities that you had just been to. So we will have to make new maps later. Where is it? Oh my god, no. That's not it. I swear there was a castle town somewhere around here. Or am I insane? Castle. Here's the castle. Forest town, normal town, snow town, floating temple, fishing village. That's cute. I like that. Oasis, mountain village. I think I'm crazy. I don't think there is that. I think I have just basically made this up. Yeah, because this is going into the science fiction maps. Okay, so let's go ahead and just pop down a... Well, this has a nice... Yeah, but it has a river going through it, and that doesn't make any sense because there's no river going through the town. So let's pop this one down, even though I was saying this one looks nice for this one over here. It has this lovely... Well, that doesn't really... Okay, we're going to have to edit these. Because what I want... Right? Let's zoom in a smidge into this. So we have this here, but I mean this has a village in it. Technically this fits the graphic that I'm looking at. So maybe what I really want for this is not what I mean. I think this is more what I want. Yeah, that works. Perfect. No one will know. Ugh, I'm hitting the wrong buttons. There we go. Let's do that. Let's pop this bad boy down. Okay. Now we have a castle town, or a castle, and I think that's more what I want. It's just a castle, and that's fine. Perfecto. Zoom out, and I'm thinking I want to implement this. Do we have the insides of the castle? I know that's in here somewhere. There they are. Alright, let's load these bad boys up. Obviously, we can never reuse these ever again. These are done. So let's take a look at this first floor. Ah, here we go. This is nice. Okay. What I want to do is set up this idea of a guild. And I mean, it should be everywhere, but we can make this castle, like this big massive wall and these doors that are probably not very big. We can make the guild accessible in any village, right? But we wanted to have like a starting point, and I think every castle should have a guild headquarters. So we can make this the guild headquarters, and we can do that. Oops, not like that. I want like a plaque. Here's a plaque. It looks better up here, doesn't it? I mean, like, that's not great, but c'est la vie. I am not an artist, so that is what we have. Yeah, I think this is quite nice. So now, we can pop over here and make an event. We should give ourselves a nice steward-looking person. I like this guy. Oh, butts. Speaking of needing references, where's my OneNote? Oh, God. Here's a tutorial I've been trying to do forever. I just want you to take that in real quick. It's bitwise. Where is it? No, that's Tyranno Builder stuff. I need RPG Maker. There it is. Here's my biggest reference is this image right here. It's my color palette for RPG Maker. Let's give this guy a nice purple color. We'll give him 30, although I think I have Message Core installed and I want to use that, but we'll just have to come back later and use that because I don't remember how to use it. We're just gonna call him Guildmaster. Oops. It would help if I was centered and hitting the correct buttons. I'm a Guildmaster. So, did I just hit cancel? Oh, thank God. I also hit apply, so it worked. So, we want to set up a guild system, right? A guild system is mostly just quests. But we want, like, repeatable quests. So, how could we do that? We want to do, like, a common event. I have an idea. So, hang on, let's take a look at the troops. Common event. Now here's the other problem. What I'm trying to set up, it's not unlimited. Like, okay, this guild system is very easy to, we were talking about earlier with the wooden swords, where the player could potentially abuse selling wooden swords if there's no drawback. Like right now, wooden swords cost 100 to make, but only sell for 50. So there is absolutely no reason for the player to try to abuse that. It would be madness. Also, wood doesn't sell anything, so there's no reason to get that, but we'll figure that out later. We will give them an out for wood. Probably a quest. Now, the best way to make it so that quests are not abused in this, there's two ways. One way would be to set like a day system where every time the player sleeps, they're able to get new quests. That could still be abused, so there would have to be a drawback to that. Or we make it so that quests are only available in between storyline quests. Or quests are only available when the player is a specific level. So the player gets a certain amount of quests from each town based on... So yeah, we could do... Oh, good lord, I'm going to forget all of this. Okay. We're going to add an entry real quick. Add... Did I just tab out of this? I did. Quests. Add. Alright, this new entry, we're just going to call this notes. So, we're going to say gating. Okay, so what are we saying? We could say that characters are not allowed to, or only get a certain number of quests. Players get new quests per, I misspelled that, that's fine, per level from each location. Each location has special quests based on that location. So like, for example, if a location, if we've designated that a certain part of the map, because it's sectioned off like a pizza, if we've designated that a certain area of the map has goblins, then that town is going to have quests that pertain to goblins and items that those monsters drop. So, you know, goblins in one area that drop iron. Obviously, now you have a quest that might ask for 50 pieces of iron. So now the player has to go fight enough goblins to get 50 pieces of iron. Obviously, the reward for this quest has to match the level of difficulty it takes to get 50 pieces of iron. Otherwise, people are going to be very, very upset when they're playing my quests and they feel like it was a massive waste of time. So they have to feel like they're getting something out of it. It could be materials, it could be new items. Now, the danger about giving items is that items affect stats. Now, we could do special items that have special abilities, which like poison or cause paralysis, or maybe have a lifesteal, which I have a plugin for also for me and Fly. So that's something that we can implement. And it's something like that. Now, the other thing that I was thinking of doing for gating is simply locking quests to the main quest. This is shouting. So if the player is going through the main quest, now this obviously makes the game significantly less open world. We could say that the player is not allowed to get any new quests unless they've done the main quest. Now, let's just say we don't have a main quest. I mean, if it's Skyrim, then we should have a main quest. But, like, let's pretend for about 5 seconds that we don't. We could legit just have the player go up to, I think they go to either level 99 or 999. I forget. Yeah, okay, it goes to level 99, I think, and then it just stops. So, we could set up a game that has quests, like, literally up to level 99. That's going to be insane for multiple locations. So, what we would probably wind up doing is separating. So let's say the player is level 1 and they have a bunch of quests that they get because they're level 1. Then they become level 2. They get more quests that they could do at level 2. Level 3, they get more quests. We'll have to figure out the speed at which the player levels up and make sure that they're not getting more quests than what they could do. But let's say we reach level 10. Now we slow it down. Every 5 levels, they get a new quest. And then when they reach level 30, it's every 10 levels they get a new series of quests. And as the game progresses, you know, and the player is gaining in levels, they gain access to certain quests, but only after, we could do We could do a favor stat. Ha 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 ha. I wasn't up there. Quest rewards. So we could do a favor stat. Every quest that the player does, earns them favor. Favor can later unlocks town related quests. So this saves us from the idea that, like, let's say they hit level 50, right? And the town and they find a new town, and then they just all of a sudden have all of the quests from level 1 to 50. Obviously, that's a butt ton of quests. But if they already have unlocked the story quests for that town, because let's say the story quests start unlocking at level 30 or something, then it's just sort of sudden, and there's not a whole lot of explanation, and the character doesn't really get to, like, feel like they've earned that. You've earned it. It's gonna be a lot of Elder Scrolls references. So I think that's really cool. I like this. I'm pumped. We are going to need a variable. I needed that. I don't know why I left that. System. Oh wait, I can't do it in here. That's fine. We'll get to it later. Okay, so we're gonna call this. I don't have a name for the starting area, so we're just gonna call it that. Starting area quests. So I like the idea of level gating it. I think that's my favorite of the options that we've come up with. Welcome to game design, where you just basically sit and talk and think a whole lot before you actually do something. Which is why this series is so weird, and probably why no one has ever done this before, because no one is willing to sit here with nothing changing on the screen and just sort of like yapping. I don't know what the hair flip was. Yapping at the camera. I had a lot of caffeine today. Let's see. So we want to say... Okay, control switches. I believe... No, not switches. Control... Conditional branch. That's what I want. We want to create... No, we don't. Stop it. Because we want this to we don't want an else, because we want this to happen regardless of what the level is. So if they're level 1, excuse me, they get the quest. If they're level 2, they get the quest. If they're level 3, and so on and so forth. But if we put an else branch, that's not what's going to happen. It's going to be annoying. No variables, although actually I can use this opportunity to put... this is gonna be such a pain later if I rename that. It's fine. Starting favor. Alright, I created that, but actually what we need... Oh, come on, don't tell me that. Character? No. Class, skill, weapon, armor. Don't tell me that. Alright. I have an idea. Watch this. Player level. I think I can set this. No, I know I can set this. Let's see. Change party member. No, that's adding a party. Change level. See, I can get the level of the party. But that's not really what we want. We want to try to get the level. Oh, you gotta be joking me. Sometimes this happens. Maybe I missed it. It's entirely possible. It'd be such a bummer if you can't actually get the level of the player. Timer. Good lord. Actor. See, this would be the most likely. Now, what we could do, we could work this to our advantage. If the main character is a specific level that has an ability, this works. Like, you can say if they have the ability dual attack, well then they're level 8, because that's the only time you get dual attack, right? Obviously, that this doesn't take into account abilities that are given to you as a reward or something. So we'll just ignore that. So that's an option. I can do that. It's just kind of, it's a little bum. It's a little bum. I could do a script. I'm sure there's a script that I could do. All right, cool. Well, we're going to say, so you start with attack at level 1. Now, we are going to have a check for if the quest is finished, because this is going to always be true, and a lot of these are. So we're going to have to implement whether or not the quest has been. Make sure to check if the quest has been completed so they don't repeatedly get it. There he goes. There's my reminder. I never use these. I really should. So if Harold has learned attack. Attack is learned at level 1. Boom. We'll say nothing because I don't have a quest yet. So, oh yeah, so what I was thinking, let's say this first area for whatever reason is forest sprites. It's a normal starting area enemy. A quest that we could do is okay, so we're probably going to have to use a lot of switches for these quests. I don't know that we have enough switches for that. That's going to be a lot of switches. Okay, good. I can absolutely change that. Great, because I'm gonna need what's like 3 times 99. We're not technically doing that. We could probably say what's like 3 times 50. That's 1,500 quests. So that's a lot of switches. We'll have to see how that runs. But oh, I made that a switch. Lol. Just delete that. It's fine. We can make it a variable, technically. Nah. I mean, we could, but that's a bit more mathy, and I'm not feeling mathy right now. So let's say control switch. The first 3 quests is, we want to say elemental, or we want to say wood elemental. We want to say, what are the other enemies that I have? Bats and rat. Oh, no, wait. You know what? We should make this one like collect wood. There we go. So we have 2 of these. Wood elemental, bat, and collect wood. Though we have 3 quests. So these don't mean anything. They're pretty much just switches. So right now, let's do collect wood, because I like that one. That one's exciting. That one's inspiring. I'm inspired. Now, if we want to collect wood for, oh gosh, this is going to be difficult, right? If we want to collect multiple pieces of wood, I don't actually believe that it does that. It will not actually check how much of an item that you have in your inventory. So I could say item if I have a potion, but it's only checking to see if I have a potion. It's not actually checking to see if I have X amount of potions, which isn't helpful to me. Now, we could do a recipe for how many pieces of wood are required, and then the recipe is given to the player. The recipe should be taken away afterwards, after the quest is done, because otherwise the player is allowed to recreate this item, but it's useless unless you have the quest. So the recipe should be taken away, and that works because as long as the player doesn't have the recipe in their inventory, that means that they can't use it. So we'll do that. Okay, hang on, I need to write all of this down because again, I'm gonna freaking forget. Item collection. So we'll say whenever the quest is given to collect X amounts of items, the player is given a recipe that they can use to create a special item, such as wood times 5. Now, this works because in the recipe, we can designate how much wood is required. So let's say it's a type of recipe that says, like, collect 50 wood, right? That's the mission. Let's do 50. Then that means in order to synthesize that special item, which is wood times 50, you know, for the guild, then you need 50 pieces of wood. So that is a way to get around the fact that we can't necessarily check how much of an item is in the player's inventory. I'm sure there's a way to do it through scripting. I just, you know what? I don't want to right now. So this works. And I actually also like this because it's kind of a cool idea where you can't accidentally use the wood that you grinded for, because I love grinding. Item grinding is different for me. I don't know. For some reason, it feels more like pointed than just like level grinding, and level grinding just feels like a giant pain. But that's just me. That is not everybody. We have to go off of, I have to go off of my tastes as a gamer. Even if other people just don't have good taste. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But let's do that. So how do we do that? Now I gotta think. All right, we need to do, hang on. All right, cool. Let's do another item. We're going to call this guild. Wood times... We'll do wood times 10. I think 50 is a bit much to start with for the guild, right? Like, no way the guild is asking for, like, 50 pieces of wood. So, hang on. Let me go back. And then... Oh, wait. We need... Oh, wait. Hang on. Let me redo this because... And we're gonna say, oi, guild, wood times 10, a guild, what is it, a guild notary, a guild, shoot, there's a word for like, when like a request is given to you, but it's not request, it's like a scroll with an official request, okay, whatever, a guild request for 10 pieces of wood. Great. And then we want, this is actually an item recipe for item 12. Item 12 is going to be guild wood times 10. Now this obviously, as you can see, is going to become very overpopulated very quick. But thankfully, wood times 10 can be reused for anything that has wood as a dropped item, so you know that's good. But that means that, you know, the elemental wood fairies dropping wood becomes also useful for later, even when you're not using wood items. So we're creating longevity and also, you know, usability for if the player has just amassed a butt ton of wood. I might make them sellable for even just a gold, so that, you know, yeah, we'll do that. We'll do one. Maybe we'll do like a regular item, but they can't consume it, so they can sell it, but they can't consume it, which is fine. I like this. They're the same thing, but that's fine. Requested pile of 10 pieces of wood for the guild. Beautiful. Beautiful. Alright, cool. And this is a key item. It is not consumable. It cannot be sold. None. Never. Also, I do need to change. No, wait, it can't be used. So that's fine. Have to like slow down for a second and figure out where I'm at. So we have guild wood times 10. Here we go. We're gonna say guild times 10. It won't cost any gold. I'll leave that there just in case. And there we go. We have a quest for 10 pieces of gold. And then what we do need to do is control switches, collect wood is on. So collect wood is now on. Yeah, this shouldn't be a repeatable quest, because then it would be repeatable like a billion times, because we would have to set something that says that we would have to set something so that when the player levels up, something happens that reruns all of this, but we don't want that. So this is just doable once. This is just a level 1 quest. It's just one of the first things you get from good old Stewart over there. So, what did I say the color was? 30. We're using 30 for our lovely friend here. That's 20. Guild Master. Oops. I know it doesn't really make sense that he's in the castle, but you know what? Whatever. I need you to get me 10 pieces of wood. I like the idea better of it being on like a wall, but let's say they come here to get the quests, then they should be able to talk to the guy. So I need you to get me 10 pieces of wood. I like how I made this a common event, even though this is likely only to happen once. This is not a common event. Oh well, whatever. It's fine. We will say that common make sure this just okay. I need you to get me 10 pieces of wood. Then we will say conditional branch. If actor, nope, just kidding. If item, guild wood times 10. I need to change that recipe name because this is going to confuse me. Guild. Okay. There we go. Guild request. That's the recipe. Go back to the common event. If party has guild wood times 10. We say the guild master. Thank you. We'll start implementing the journal probably in the next video, but we've just set up our very first guild quest. And then we need to control switch. Now here's the difficulty. Control okay, so we need to do a conditional branch, but we need to do collect 10 wood done. It's important because later on if we have other quests then obviously that's not going to work. So collect 10 wood is on. Perfect. And then we take all of this and now we say control variable, just kidding. I think it was a switch, right? Yeah, control 10 wood off. So now we start the player here. Hang on, I need to lower my volume so I don't automatically deafen myself. I would go through and change the volume for everything, but my god, that would take forever. Still almost deafened myself. So, guildmaster. I'm a guildmaster. Ah, bummer. Okay, so right off the bat, I need... I didn't actually give him the quest. That's fine. No, go away. Common event. Starting area quests. And actually this works out because now I remember why I made this a common event, because it's all of the starting area quests in one event. Which may cause some issues running, but we'll find out if I ever do. Okay, now let's try this. I'm a guild master. Ah, bummer. Okay, so that means... I was hoping it would automatically be on. If collect wood is on. It's not. So we would need to make sure that at the start of the game the collect wood is on. Alas, we don't have a start to the game, so we're gonna call this delete me, this event. And we're going to just set control switches, collect wood. Collect 10 wood done is off. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I've done something wrong. If collect 10 wood is on. This doesn't make sense. Hang on. No, I think I've just done something circular. If collect 10 wood. No, not you. If collect 10 wood, we need to do if collect 10 wood done is off. Yes. We're gonna delete that really quickly because I need that. What? I think I just broke my own logic. Hey! Got it! I need you to get me 10 pieces of wood. Perfect. And then, let's just really quickly pop down a treasure chest with 10 pieces of wood. Bada bing, bada boom. Wood was found. Neat. I'm a guild master. You get me 10 pieces of wood. Oops. Okay, hang on. Let's check our logic. So I need you to get me 10 pieces of wood. If... I'm dumb. Hang on. Okay, so we need to actually give the... I need you to get me 10 pieces of wood. Here's the formal guild request. Then we would say... change items, go over here, guild request 10, and we would say show text. I like to do dim, middle. You received guild request. I don't remember. Okay, you received a guild request. That's all we're gonna say because I don't remember what exactly I called it. You received a guild request. Fabulous. Now we have a recipe that we need in order to complete the quest. You received a guild request. Now we have wood. Pop down here, craft ourselves an item. And now we have it. I'm a guild master. You should give me 10 pieces of wood. Oh, thank you. Oh dear. Okay, so obviously we need to fix that. And I know just how to do it. Create else. Okay, we're also going to do... Pardon me, we're almost done, I swear. I just want to get this quest working. We're gonna do this. So we're gonna say... we have to check to see if the player has the... oops. We have to check to see if the player has the item. Okay, so... check. No. We need a conditional branch. If the player has the item, guild request, and we need to make it an else. If not, we will put this in the else. That means they've received it. Oops, that too. And then if the party, we will only check this if they actually have the item. And I don't think I actually needed to make that an else. Yeah. Yes. Yes? And then we take the recipe back. And we also take the guild wood times 10. Okay. Right. Am I dumb? I think I got this. I'm a guild master. I need you to get me 10 pieces of wood. Here's the formal guild request. Here's the formal... oops. No, not that. Yeah. Yes. Oh, that's because I forgot to actually delete that. Well, at least we know that that worked. Okay, you received a guild request. Let's make sure. We sure did. Oops. And then we'll go ahead and get this wood. Pop down, craft our wood times 10. I'm a guild master. I need you to get me 10 pieces of wood. No, I fixed that. Thank you. Working! Okay, great. So we have a working quest. It's not implemented. It doesn't even have the quest journal put into it. But hey-oh, I have a working quest. And it will never be... I didn't test for that. I didn't test to see if that would be... Dang it. They shouldn't be able to run that again. Let's just make sure for bug testing sake. Yep, I need you to get me 10 pieces of wood. Here's the formal guild request. Okay, let's talk to him again. I'm a guild master. I need you to get me 10 pieces of wood. Nifty. I'll take it. We can make it nice later. I'm a guild master. I need you to get me 10 pieces of wood. Thank you. We can't reactivate the quest. Booyah. We just level locked our quest. And actually, we also tested that this worked because I know the ability attack. Perfect. We have now... Well, okay, so here's a problem, right? So now we have forced our character to have to learn a move every single level that we want quests to be activated. So this is not a perfect solution, but it's still a nice solution. So that's something that we have to be aware of. It's not a perfect solution. If you guys have a better option for me, let me know in the comments below. But this was what I was able to sort of mess around with. Thank you for watching my 51-minute video. That's fine. Again, this is not really a tutorial series. This is literally like a Let's Play series, but with RPG Maker. If you've made it this far, you've probably figured that out. I just really like to pardon my French, but I really just like dicking around in like Game Maker stuff, like RPG Maker and Game Maker, which I haven't used since I was like 13 and or thereabouts, and you know, like that kind of stuff, like Tyranno Builder. I don't know why, it's a really weird passion of mine to take these like small engines that are not designed for like really intricate games and then just sort of mess with them. You should see this maze thing that I could do in Tyranno Builder using Bitwise. It's overly complicated. It's really difficult to explain in a tutorial sense. Believe me, I've been trying. You saw that math. But like, it's really cool. I just really like this stuff. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think of this. Let me know what you think of our current setup for quests. The idea is that we will continue adding quests to this. So this was just like... This was the logic for one quest, and that was just like for attack. So we also have not technically implemented this in a guild format. We want the player to be able to select the quest that they want to activate. So in that sense, we need to create we need to create an options window, but that options window changes depending on like what the player is actually able to like, you know, get, because other quests have closed. So that's kind of a complicated thing that we have to deal with. Or we just set these up so that they activate in order. So you go, you talk to the man, or you go talk to a board, and in order you get a quest and you have to do each of them. So we will consider that. We will consider this. This was an interesting way of putting this together. It was obviously inspired to do this. I'm impressed with what we got working in an absolute mess of things, but you know, I like it. There's no rewards for this quest. It's also not actually in the quest journal, but you know, c'est la vie. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, everybody. I really appreciate it. I'm super thankful if you've made it this far. And yeah, thank you. Let me know what you guys think. Bye.